Hello, welcome back to the channel and thanks for watching. A few weeks ago I was saying in my last video that I found my next watch. I was talking at the time about the wonderful Geokota Pioneer. In the meantime, however, while browsing the Goldsmith's website, I came across a newer version of the Seiko Speedtimer, the SSC911. And I kind of changed my mind. I still like the Geokota and still want it, but I might want the Seiko more. Firstly, I want to say that I have been looking for a while at the SSC813, like many of you I'm sure. This was the 39mm Speedtimer inspired by the 1969 world's first automatic chronograph watch. Also, like many of you, or at least some of you, I wasn't convinced that the 39mm diameter was right for me. Although my wrist is only 7 inches, I have to admit that contrary to the current trend to go towards smaller diameters, I do still enjoy a watch with a bit more presence. The best way I can describe this is that I like to feel the watch on my wrist. Obviously, because I love watches in general, I do have in my modest collection even a 38mm watch, the Certina DS Action Diver, and I do think that's a great watch. I've made a video about it. In case you want to check it out, you can find it on the channel. I just didn't feel the same about the first Seiko Speedtimer reinterpretation. It simply seemed a bit small for me. This could also be because I have this idea in my head that chronographs look better north of 40mm. These are of course just subjective matters, and I'm sure that many watch lovers out there would have a very different opinion. As I was saying at the beginning of the video, only recently, and to my surprise, I found that there is a new version, the Go Large, as Seiko calls it, which measures 41.4mm. Well, now we're talking. Because I really like the looks of this watch, I ended up going deeper into the rabbit hole. It's not just the size that feels better, but also the overall design of the watch. The first thing I noticed was the much more rounded look. This is obviously the case because the lug-to-lug distance is similar for both the SSC813 and the newer SSC911. And this basically means that on the smaller watch, the visual effect is that the lugs are quite long, whereas the bigger watch looks as if it has smaller lugs. I think the best timepiece that I'm aware of to describe this effect from a more extreme point of view actually is the Seiko Tuna with its almost non-existent lugs. In any case, going back to the SSC911, I just think it's the perfect chronograph for the money. I think Seiko nailed it. I mean, we are talking £590 for a solar powered watch with a sapphire crystal and offering a water resistance of 100 meters. Something else we can only get from Seiko at this price point are some amazing dials. The Speedtimer SSC911 comes with a silver sunburst dial. The contrast, an important aspect for me when looking at any watch, it's also great, especially thanks to the red hands for the chronograph and the small subdial at 6 o'clock. What's interesting about the small hand in the 6 o'clock subdial is that when the chronograph is not running, this can serve as a power reserve indicator. The other day, when I was just about to pull the trigger and order the SSC911, I learned about an even newer release, the SSC935. If you run a quick search, you will see that there is also a blue-red version, the SSC913, but for some reason I didn't find it as appealing as the other ones. Regardless, I will make sure to include some pictures in case you want to take a closer look. Now let's get back to the SSC935. Seiko calls this the Prospex Crystal Trophy Speedtimer, and it just made my choice more difficult. I love how the new icy blue dial looks in the pictures, and I think I would prefer it to the previous silver one. However, the contrast between hands and dial is no longer as good as in the case of the SSC911. You will notice that the hands are now white/grey, and because of the light blue dial, legibility is not necessarily the best. On the upside, the newer model offers, at least for me, a more appealing bezel, which is now completely black. Previously, only the tachymeter segment was black, with the rest being grey. Despite the less than ideal contrast, I think I'm gonna go for the Crystal Trophy version. I am, however, very curious to know what you think. Which model do you prefer and why? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, as always, please do like and most importantly subscribe so that we can stay in touch. All the best!